Hi, it's Paris from EpicReviewGuys, and after many years of using only Nexus phones, this last year I sort of experimented with the ZTE ZMax, which was a great phone, but then I saw the Nexus 6P and I returned to my first love.
EpicReviewGuys.
Now I had decided not to spend this much money on a phone again, but the specifications just drew me in and I could not resist. Let's see if it's going to live up to its price. The ZTE ZMax, $252. 5.7-inch screen, had just about everything I needed. Now a year later though, it's still stuck on Android 4.4. I don't think it's going to go any higher than that. It's also having issues where the screen doesn't always come on, apps are crashing all the time. So it was time for a new phone. I was thinking the OnePlus 2 at about $350-ish. But oh, the specifications of this just drew me in, and then since I'm planning to use the 4K video recording feature, it doesn't have an SD card slot. I needed a little more memory. Anyway, $550 for the Nexus 6P. And the box doesn't even look like one that a phone comes in. It looks like a collector's set of DVDs. Let's see what's actually inside. Okay. This is a lot different than my ZMax phone. With its rounded edges and thinness, it feels like a very fancy phone compared to my industrial design ZTE ZMax. Very, very different. Here's the ZMax. Here's the Nexus 6. Headphone port on the top. Charger port on the bottom, and on the back, right here in the center, this is one of the key reasons I wanted this phone, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. In the enclosed instruction card, they talk about charging, and there's something extra you have to know about that. And then down here, they describe putting in the SIM card. There's also a little card telling you about 90-day free trial of Google Play Music. And in this is a little booklet with your warranty and the tool to pop out your SIM card tray. Here's the transformer for charging it up. Looks pretty ordinary here, but when you look at this end, that's a little unusual. This cable is a standard one you're used to using. This will plug into any phone charger or into a computer USB port, and this is what plugs into the phone. Now the other cable that they give you, which has the special added fast charging benefits, is the same on both ends, and will not plug into your ordinary phone or into any other kind of charger. The Nexus 6P has a fast charging technology that will allow you to charge it up for 7 hours of use, which is 10 minutes of charging, but you have to use the included transformer and cable. And the charging port and cable are just like jackets my mother would buy me when I was a kid. They are reversible. I thought before I charge it up and power on the phone, I'd just show you a close-up one more time. Here on the top is the headphone jack. Over here is the SIM card tray. Now on the same side they put both the power button and the volume, and I'm not sure that I'm going to like that. I have a hard enough time capturing the screenshot when they're on opposite sides without always getting that volume bar showing up in the picture. Down at the bottom we have this new type of connector to charge it and to also plug it into your computer. I'm not sure if that'll transfer at the higher USB 3.0 speeds with the cable they included or not. And then here on the back, the camera, the flash, there's a laser autofocus, and this thing I mentioned before, this is the fingerprint reader. So the idea of the placement of it is, on this large phone, when you go to pick it up, you're going to put your finger approximately in that position. When you tap it, that's what activates the read my fingerprint now and unlock the phone. And so you tap it and hold your finger on there. It's supposed to read your fingerprint in just a fraction of a second and bring the phone screen up. Ready to plug it in and charge it up before turning the power on. Let's see what indications we get here. Pretty standard. Now this has Android 6. It's the first phone out with the very newest version of Android. As I mentioned, my ZTE ZMax was stuck in perpetuity on 4.4. From the rest of the family though, who upgraded to 5 on their phones, I never cared for it that much, so I'm hoping that by skipping 5 and going right to Android 6, that maybe they will have changed those things that I didn't care for, and at the very least I don't have to learn 2 different versions of Android. after initially showing me the charging symbol, it's dark and charging, I guess. Reading through some instructions for the phone on the Google website, because no kind of manual is included with this. Apparently you don't have to wait for it to fully charge up before you set it up, just so long as you have it plugged in as you're doing it. So let's see what this looks like. Hold power button for 3 seconds. It's interesting to me that I can see this at this like 170-degree angle I'm looking at it. I don't remember being able to do that on my ZMax. Just a little vibrate. English. Just holding it these few seconds, there's just a little bit of heat right here above the fingerprint scanner. I just sort of felt like a little heat wave coming up over my fingers. I tried to slide that, it wouldn't slide. You had to tap it even though it's an arrow pointing sideways. Insert SIM card. I don't want to do that right now because I'm going to go through a reset procedure on the phone to see how that works. Select Wi-Fi. Okay. Connected to Wi-Fi. Now it's asking me if I have another phone I would like to quickly and easily bring over all the settings from. And so if only the ZTE ZMax had NFC near field communication, I could do that. You set them both up, you touch them together and everything gets transferred. Only this has the NFC. On this screen it's asking me to set up security, either to enter a PIN or to use the fingerprint scanner. Now on my old phone, I never set up the PIN. It was always a pain. I mean, I'm in and out of my phone 100 times a day, so I never set up the security on it, and I know that's not wise because this phone was logged into every account that I have. YouTube, email, Instagram, Facebook, banking, everything. If someone were to get a hold of my phone, they could probably pretty easily get into all of those things. So I was really looking forward to the fingerprint scanner technology improving to the point where basically you pick your phone up, your finger is on the scanner, and by the time it gets up to where you want to look at your phone, it's already on the screen to go. So I'm going to set this up. Here it tells me a little bit about unlock with fingerprint. That Nexus imprint uses your fingerprint to wake and unlock your phone, authorize purchases, or sign into apps. Be careful whose fingerprint you add. Any fingerprints added will be able to do these things. I didn't realize you could have more than one fingerprint. Maybe you can have more than one of your own fingers. This may be less secure than a strong pattern or a pin, but I know it's more secure than nothing at all, which is what I've been doing. Okay, locate the fingerprint sensor on the back of your phone. Located. Place your finger on the sensor and lift after you feel a vibration. I'm going to put my finger on there. That was quick. Great. Now repeat. Move your finger slightly to add all the different parts of your fingerprint. Ah. I see, because you won't always have your finger in the exact same position. Fingerprint added. To wake and unlock your phone, just touch the Nexus imprint sensor. Here is the default startup screen with a few icons on it. One thing I noticed right away is I can't slide left or right. As I understand it, those side sliding screens are created as you need them. So as you add more icons, when you overflow, then you get a new side sliding screen started. For comparison, here's my ZTE phone. You can notice it's much brighter. That's because I have this manually set at like 75% brightness. I never cared for the automatic brightness adjuster. Okay, you can see down here the little fingerprint symbol. That means that's an option for unlocking the screen. Fingerprint on. Hey, unlocked easily. And it isn't even necessary to push the power button to wake the screen up first. All you have to do is press and hold your finger on the fingerprint sensor on the back. Here I go. That wakes it up, scans the fingerprint, and brings you to the home screen. Now maybe you're saying, well sure, every time you try a fingerprint it works, because it'll work with any fingerprint. So let me try a different finger here and see what happens. I'll go with the middle finger against it here. And I felt a zzz, but nothing came up on the screen. A different finger, another zzz, but nothing came up on the screen. Let me show you what's going on here. I'll bring this up. Try yet another finger, my pinky. That is not accepted. I've boosted the brightness on this to about 75%, which is what the ZTE ZMax is at. Now you have a little better idea of how bright this screen can get. There was an Android security update, isn't there always, and so I told it to go ahead and download and install that. In the meantime, holding onto the phone, I've noticed, this is just regular aluminum here, it's supposed to be used as part of the heat sink to dissipate the heat from the phone, but not so much so that it makes your hand get too warm or uncomfortable. This part of the phone is several degrees above room temperature, so it's fine. I did notice though, moving my hand up here, that once I get to the side of this fingerprint sensor and above it, this is several degrees warmer than this part of the phone. So it's not uncomfortable, but it's definitely noticeable. All the activity going on with the chips and the memory, I suppose, is happening right in here. Now when I hold the phone ordinarily, it's like this, so I'm going to have one finger right along the edge of that warm spot. We'll see how that goes. The security update finished, the phone restarted, everything's looking good. It's very snappy in terms of shutting down and starting back up. The heat issue that I noticed in the back, I'm wondering if possibly it's related to the quick charging that's going on at the same time, because that will also produce some heat as you're charging up the battery. So I'm going to test that out. I'm going to test everything out and make sure for the price this really is the phone that I want. I'll be back with a part 2 of this video where I will show you how it works playing a YouTube video to see how the screen is, how the action on the screen looks, the sound and music. Also, I'll record something in 4K, record something in their special slow-mo mode, try out the camera, so I will test all those things. I will make a video showing you the results of those things and give you an update on the heat issue, which I've noticed now since it's restarted, much reduced. So I'm thinking doing that system update must be fairly intensive, and that may have produced some of that heat. Give me 24 hours to put the Nexus 6P through its paces and to create a video showing you those results. I'll be back with that video and others soon. You can keep checking back for those, or you can click the subscribe button down below. You'll get notified when our videos go up. See you on the next review.
Shopping is easy when you know what to buy. At EpicReviewGuys, we give it a try. What does the fox buy? Nobody knows, but before he goes shopping, he watches